Stick Your Neck Out, the weekly podcast of the Giraffe Heroes Foundation.
Heavy rain that causes regular floods and landslides. People missing or dying. Residents cut off in parts of the state. Swell rivers, flooded roads. The Army, Navy and Air Force have assisted with flood relief and rescue operations. Still, it is not enough. This was the summer in Kerala in 2018, the century's biggest floods. Since then, every year Kerala has seen a similar scenario. Welcome to the podcast to restore your faith in humanity. It's me, Jean-Pierre Aguiar Durañona, and today I'm talking to a Kantari participant, Akhina Mohan. Welcome, Akhina.
Hi. Thank you.
Akhina is right now preparing her Kantari talk, which she's going to present along with the other 15 participants on the 17th and 18th of December. So if you, dear listener, want to get to know these 16 social change makers, make sure to note down these days. Visit kantaritalks.org for the live stream and watch the participants from 8 countries present their captivating life stories of resilience and hope. But let's go back to the flood routes in Kerala and our guest today. Akhina, several factors are said to have led to the flooding in Kerala, and we are going to talk about that later. Now, I'd like to know, how do you feel when you think about the flood back in 2018?
Thank you for the question. So, for me, flood means whatever I heard, and in India, the northeast we have flood in every year, like in Bihar and Assam. So I have heard about that, but when it happened in Kerala, we were stuck what to do. I was doing my master's in the northernmost district, and apart from that district, all other 13 districts were affected by the flood. We couldn't know what's happening. We don't have the communication. It's I still remember the days. Actually, it's the time for our annual Onam festival. We were in our campus. I was in a final year. We were preparing for the festival. And just in a sudden, I think the rain started on August 9 and continued for the long, almost 1 week. And it was we were okay, it's gonna stop. And it didn't. And when it felt is it really happening now, Kerala? And it's suddenly the whole festival changed into another mood. Even though I was not in the direct field, but we were able to feel that. I know one of my colleague, she was there with us, and she was trying to connect her home, and since 1 week she has no idea what's happened, and it's all her home was flooded, and we could actually relate to that, how hard it was, that situation. We were not even thought about something like flood will happen in Kerala. So if I think back about 2009, I feel that was a change in not only me. I think I will say that flood created a lot of change in Kerala, especially among so many youth. I would say like that. And until that time, I was okay, climate change is happening, everything is happening. But thereafter, I said, okay, it's there, it's just in front of us. We have no other option. We have to face it. And now I am now I'm in the process of what we can do. At that time I was stuck, and now I'm thinking in a process what to do with what I have, or like that.
Okay, interesting. So how do you react to this situation? I mean, back in 2018, at that time you were finishing your master, and you also got caught up in this flood. Right? You were actually in the middle of this whole situation, and that was the beginning of Fireflies, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. So I mentioned about we are in a festival mode. So everyone joined for the festival, and it became a relief committee actually. And we were what we can do at that moment. It was the relief activities, collection of material. As I mentioned, almost 13 districts were almost affected. So we have to provide them food, had to provide them dress, almost everything. That was people were, I don't know whether I say fighting. No, not fighting. Actually, they were happy with whatever they get. They don't mind about their status quo, their like they're rich or low, nothing. They just need something to eat. They just need good drinking water, and they just have something to cover themselves. That was the basic need. And we, like I was in Kasaragod. My campus is in Kasaragod. So we had in our campus we opened a collection center, and I would say in the very beginning we started with a, let's say, just one box of material, and within it took 1 week actually. We had this collection camp 1 week. We sent almost 16 vehicles of food, materials. People from different parts of Kasaragod. We just have a Facebook post, and people came with lot of food, dress, everything. They come like a mass. We have to separate everything. We cannot completely just send them. So that was how we involved. And just after the flood, everything became normal. Like we will get back into the normal life, and felt like few people were like, I would say, same mind. You want to do something, and it's like we are normally youth. That was the one time when people accepted that. So this youth also can do something to, at least to social media also. Like social media become a good network during the flood. Like all connection with everything about flood. Good. It's also verified information. So then we felt like what we can do, and we felt like, okay, it's a good group. We should do something actually for the society. We should use our togetherness for something good purpose, and that's how we formed Fireflies to be a light in the dark. And it's like we have a fire inside, and how the normal fireflies is. So when one single firefly is flying, it have only little light. When the fireflies become together, it gives a much more light. That's how the fireflies concept formed. And we started like what to do, and we have started like after the flood. Our first activity was a kindergarten cleaning, I would say. Now we have this as a project, Color a Smile. Like after the flood, one activity was the cleaning. Like, everything was covered with mud.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So
Yeah.
we had in Thrissur district, we worked with a few kindergartens. We cleaned them and repainted, because when we think about the children, we are coming back and it's like all muddy places. They will not have any. We should give the colors to them. So we started it as a few activity, and later now it's run as a Color a Smile project. Color a Smile. Yeah, then we started about another project was recycle. It's in campus. We have a very big campus. We need to have some cycle access. We don't have that. So we started collecting cycles, scrap cycles, and we fixed that, and we started using that for our purpose in campus. There is a project Recycle.
That sounds like a lot of work to do. So at Fireflies, you are seeking social change through responsible volunteering. With this movement, you are creating a positive green impact in society. Do you mind explaining how you are doing that exactly?
So, like if I take a project Recycle in our campus, like the collection of the cycles or fixing everything, we involve volunteers. Like we have this activity, we post about that. When it is inside the campus, we have to use the students. So they will come voluntarily. They will come. We will have some sort of experts who can really know how to fix. We'll have sessions how to do that, and we work together. We were happy. Like if at the one point when we got the first cycle, we did everything together, fixing and painting. It was really interesting.
That's
and
great.
within 6 months, let's say 6 months, we have 5 cycles. And when I was leaving the campus, we had the 6 cycles, and it was really nice to have sort of people were happy, like students. We have already in masters, we have a lot of to study, and along with they will happy to spend few times. They are benefiting from it. And so also when it comes to cycle, it's the environmental friendly way to transport. So we're happy. And when we take the Career Smile project also, we inform volunteer code. people like we have people like doctors came or any we don't have any criteria, only this kind of people. Just don't have we just have people who are ready to spend their time for a course, and people just came. And like we have the sessions like they come share their stories and their whatever, and it's a good network actually. I like it's all over, and now we have a volunteers all over Kerala, and it's really good experience from, especially when we hear from them, like at least they will have any kind of change, any point of change like that they got from YFIs when I spend time. Like I still remember about one story, one volunteer. She was a teacher and she was sharing like until that time she never been in a group. She was so what you say one so in a not introvert, like she was not introvert, but she put itself as an introvert, and that she was a good artist. And after that activity, she became more social, and she just come out from her comfort zone, and she was so active. And I was really happy about such a experiences.
Yeah, I can imagine. So after a couple of years working with fireflies, you came to Kantari, like right now, and want to begin your own project. You are calling it Alamo. This is a project, if I got it correctly, about environmental education. Would you like to share shortly what Alamo is about?
Alamo is what my organization that I found here, not at registered, which will be registering soon. So through Alamo, I'll not say completely environmental education, but in a kind of it's a education process. No, I don't know. I have some problem with this term. Like education means something that we teach, some kind of teaching, student, all these images comes, and I just don't want that. And like for that thought, I would like say thanks to Kandari, like the concept that we have here. So for it, through Alamo, we are empowering the children actually. And children are, I would say, really their asset. So they are responsible actually. Actually, we are responsible for them, and they are responsible also. We cannot say like they are just children. No, they are not just children.
No, that's the wrong approach.
Yeah. So what I really want to do is like just give them the space. They have a lot to learn about the environment. And now I say in Kerala we are limited. I'll not say only in Kerala. In India, it's especially very limited when it comes to about learning about environment. And I don't want to educate them. This is that. I just hate that process. I just want them to know, like, just provide them platform or just, yeah. I just want them to explore the different aspects of environment, and also they should learn. They should know what's happening. They should know what's happening in their surrounding, because once they become adult, they will not say, "Oh, I was not aware of that when I was a child," and it will be very late. So I just want them to learn, them to know about what's happening in the environment. And they have a lot to do. And I strongly believe children are very strong influences. Like, especially I will say in Kerala, parents are ready to anything for their children. Anything for their children. So
Yeah.
I just want to take
Sometimes too much.
too much. Yeah, but I just want to take that criteria, that thing. Like, okay, can do anything for their children. It's for like conserving the environment is for their children. And so through children, I want to influence the elders of the community, involved in activities that can really help to restore the local environment.
Okay, so which kind of activities are you planning?
So, for example, I would say, let's take the example of Kandari campus. We have this Velani lake.
Mm-hmm.
And the surrounding people, like this Velani lake is being infested by water hyacinth for a long time. And it will be beautiful to see water hyacinth greenery in the lake, but for the health of the lake, it's not at all good. Like it will have a different side effects, like let's say oxygen demand will be low. It's not good for fishes, so and so. And people doesn't just care about it. If like when it comes to a global issue, they are active and they'll have voice to raise in social media, post, share everything. it's just in their locality. And I think I have seen many times here Paul and Sabria asking them to join, but they never. And when we were cleaning, like we have this weekly or daily cleaning activity, we just have it. We just really have it a fun. We collect all the hyacinths as a group, and we actually built a island, man-made island with the hyacinth depositing. So people are seeing that the surrounding people are almost they will be sitting and just looking at us. And there were many occasions they were just giving I don't know what to use that. They were just scolding us.
Okay.
It's like from their aspect we are doing something mistake, or they will say we don't have any other work. We're just just leisure time spending in the lake.
Yeah.
But they don't understand why we are doing that.
And they don't understand what do you learn if you spend your time in the lake working together with a group of people, sharing ideas, like working. It's like...
And these people will... I was really mad, like when I see people come, drink alcohol and just put plastic bottles in the lake.
Oh.
They are living just close to this lake and they are just doing this opposite. And I really hate this. I was really hate. Yeah, exactly.
I can relate to that.
So, and when we just go and talk, they will be arguing us. You're not from here. You don't know what to do or like that. And that happens. And like in the activities when it comes to our Alamo, even the cleaning of the lake in nearby is like activity. Like it's not only cleaning the lake. When the community do it together, there's a bonding comes in the community. Now people become so into the boxes of their only family, me, my husband, my children. That's the box. So just come out from that and children coming together, the adults, elders, everyone coming together and work together. That's really good.
That sounds beautiful. I mean, that sounds really good. So environment conservation with children, you call them cuckoos, right?
Yes.
What do you mean exactly with this concept?
Yeah, so initially it was like I want to create a task force and I have to give them a name. Then few more suggestions came and I got the suggestion cuckoos and I like, yeah, it's good. For me, I was not aware that it has a meaning crazy. For us, a cuckoo means one is a coil, like the bird.
Okay.
And the other meaning, like we have so many pet names here. So cuckoo was a very common pet name in Kerala.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it was pretty cool for me. But I think whenever I presented, okay, my task force name is Cuckoos, people will ask question. It means crazy. So are you crazy? And in the beginning, I was like, okay, is that a problem? Then I thought, okay, everyone is crazy in a way.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, if you think about that, okay, you are crazy because you are kind
Yeah,
of fighting.
we are just crazy about our environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just crazy about our environment. This doesn't care. And like then I found like cuckoo. The other question was cuckoos are the birds which lay egg on the other bird's nest.
Yeah.
So when we think about that aspect, yeah, it's not that good. But in the one aspect, it's not engaging in a family. Like they are not ready to build their house and settle. They are just enjoying the life. The one line I got interesting was the voice of cuckoos is considered as the voice of nature, and I really loved that sentence. Cuckoo's voice is considered as the voice of nature, and I think I took that tagline. Actually, that line I took, and I was like, okay, voice of nature, and we just want to be the voice for nature.
Yeah.
That's it.
You have a really good slogan right now. So speaking about names and yeah, actually nominations, the word Alamo comes from Esperanto language and it means alarm or the alarm. And no one chooses a name for such an organization deliberately. So what are you trying to tell us with this name?
So Alamo, look, it's like a alarm. I just want to be a bit different. That way I took Alamo. It's same meaning. So alarm means it's already when it's take to nature, environment, climate change, all these aspects. Nature is giving us many alarms. It's a very warning, threatening alarms. These floods, every disaster. You can consider it as an alarm. Just wake up. It's already late. I just want to be. I took that idea like through our organization. We have campaigns, awareness, everything. All purpose of this organization is to just give the alarm. If people just wake up, we don't have enough time to stay back. It's all of us. It's not only about, normally when we say about any activity, people will say that's about the environmentalists. They just need to take care of. It's not about environmentalists. I don't know how people can say that, because we all are part of environment in a way or other way. We all should be an environmentalist. So we just need to work together. So that's how we are just want to give this alarm.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I think that's a really quite interesting and beautiful name. Why do you feel it's so important for young people to be educated in environmental issues?
So I would say, like I have masters in environment. Now I've seen people who learn environment, I would say academically, and there are other people like here in Kerala. Environmental is a very specialized subject. We just don't have that much as a common subject. People who have too much interest will go for that. What about the other people? They just don't. I think I have fighted with my friends whenever they throw off the chocolate cover or whatever just after eating. I just really get mad, and I think that was the first change I seen. Like whenever we have get-togethers, I will be like, if you are eating chocolate, give me the cover. I will put it in the basket. Don't put there on the road. Then they'll be really like, what's the wrong with that? And later on, like even I was not there, they started taking the cover and putting in the right basket. And I was like, okay, it's good. They just realizing it. It's a need. It's just a need. We just need to know how to manage our environment. So man or our people, not I say not man, or people are the only organism on the whole earth putting waste. I'm not saying I say waste means not like which waste that harm the nature or not suitable for the nature. So it's okay. We have to create some point. We have to create some waste or trash, whatever. But we just need to know how to manage it. We just need to know how to coexist with the nature. We cannot take it for granted. That's it.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. A lot of people are doing is like they are taking everything for granted. So that's why it's so important, like people like you that are advocating for environmental educations in schools and in the communities, because it's really important. So what will this, in your particular case, look like, this kind of environmental education, and why is this education so important?
It's like so I said like it's become very specialized. For example, take any other subject. If they didn't have a base about environment, like everything is connected. If you're talking about architecture, for example, we have architecture strategy, everything that is so aligned with the environment. We have that more like our campus. It's much more eco-friendly buildings. We have the option, but we are not aware of that. We are just not. We just look for what is our convenience and what is easily available. We are not thinking about the sustainability of that. And for all these aspects, we need to have this in our base. And it should not be something that we learn in our masters. It should be from the base itself. Like for me, I have seen so many buildings with like bamboo buildings or the building with only rocks or something like that. But I was thinking, oh, these are very costly. So people with so much money can only build it. But after coming Kanari, when we have a exposure visit to Cosford, and I was like, okay, it's possible. It's not that much hard. And when initially when I think about it, I think I got from my friends or family. I don't know. I don't remember exactly. It's so expensive. They just put it's expensive. It's not accessible, and that's not right. No, we are not. Then we just close the possibility for even try. So all these, I don't know how I'm putting in the right words or something.
No, it's right. I get it. It's just like, yeah, I'm imagining like so your plan is like to go and knock the doors at schools and say, okay, here I am, and I can offer you like an alternative to the natural education you already have, and I wanted to do this kind of projects with the kids, or you pretend that people comes to you, or how are you planning to get yourself known, to get out to the world, kind of?
So in the beginning, of course, it should be a struggling period, but I would say fortunately, I have worked for 1 year in Wayanad under the organization Goond. So during that time, I have worked with a few schools in Wayanad district. So that was a good experience for me, and I have interacted with, I have good network with this school. So I can, initially I have to start with that. I really don't want to be the extra subject for the schools. Like after this class time, we have one extra, like children will just hate it. I don't want that. I don't want to be in their hate list. But in the initially, so for example, I will say about my pilot project. I'm starting my pilot project just after going from Kandari in Wayanad district. So how it's like, whether it's a one school, I have already talked with that teacher, and we have a MGLC system, multi-grade learning centers, which started in early 90s. So it's like for giving more accessibility to the children from tribals and coastal worlds, like people who are not that much accessibility to normal schools. So it's a special system. So I have such contact. So I will be going there, and this weekends, Saturday only, I will be engaging them. And I just don't want to be the normal education. I say I will unquote. I don't want to be that.
Yeah, no, it's really important you say that, because there's something I've heard from groups that do environmental education, is that if they are in charge, teachers will say like, "Oh God, that's so awesome! You'll take care of this, and I'll do my own thing here, and it's perfect." You know, like they split the whole thing. And I'm curious to know about your transition, working 100% with students, to passing on the content to teachers and encouraging them to run with it. So what do you think is going to be the response, and how do you encourage a positive one?
So with this particular school, I had a pretty strong connection. So when I was working there, we created a kitchen garden there with the children and involving their parents. And like I really liked the way, like, and I suggested, like, we need a bamboo bench. Apart from the one classroom, they don't have anything. So then what about we creating a bamboo bench? And we bought the bamboos, and actually the parents involved in making it. Children really loved it, and I was like, okay, that's cool. Then when I was creating my curriculum, I thought, okay, why could not I start with that? Because I already seen they like this kitchen garden making and everything. That time it was limited because actually COVID came. I couldn't go for the further thing, and it's all in a sudden completely low. So we thought, okay, start the kitchen garden. So in the 4 Saturdays, first Saturday I will have, we will provide certain screeds, everything like facilities for the kitchen garden, and parents will also be including. And for the children, I just don't want to ask the questions. Let them ask whatever questions they want to ask about. They just want to do everything what they can do. And so like when we give a chance for them to ask questions, they will have lots of questions. It's my responsibility to provide them answers, actually.
Yeah, definitely, of course. Yeah. Once you open that door, it's like no way back. Yeah. No, but the point is, like, you are talking about this school, which you already know. I mean, you are talking about a field, like kind of your home, kind of, you know. So a place where you can go, ring the bell, or you have a key and you open it, and that's not a big deal. But in your project, you want to go to also talk to people out of your field, you know. So how can you encourage a positive reaction from these people?
Like when, like why I focus on this school is I have a connection. So when we have created anything that we can show, like we did this, like you have no idea, people have a strong, I would say, advertisement rather than the social media at some point. So like I experienced it, like when I was doing the work in Goond, like we did an activity in a school, and then next day we will get call from other schools because teachers talked about this. So we also want to involve in this. So it's the one part. And along with this, I have to, in the beginning stage, I really have to go into school by school. Doesn't matter whether I know the school or not, because I'm used to that. Like when I was working in Wayanad as well as Kasaragod, we have to go and meet each schools, and some point they are really welcoming for us, some point they are not. It's really hard to convince them what we are doing and everything. They will list out, we don't have space in our curriculum, we don't have space in our schedule, whatever. So we have to find way how to convince them.
I see, I understand. So let's talk about your long-term goals for Alamo.
So I'm currently thinking about one scholarship program actually. So in the beginning, as I said, it's hard to have a special space. So in Kerala, I had to, whenever I put any goal, I have to think what is the reality here. I cannot just take it from there. So parents are not that much into like Kandari. I cannot completely study residential. People will not allow their children. And if I want to reach out to all children, I have to plan something like that. So we will have a 1 year scholarship program for a time being. Like not a residential, completely not a residential one. We'll have sessions in like March, April, May. We have these vacations, long vacations, I mean 2 month vacations. So we start there. We will have camps, exposure trips, everything in their locality itself. Like to say, if I take for example, if I'm taking Trivandrum district, we will have already it's divided to local local governing bodies like that. And as Kerala is blessed with many natural landscape, I say everywhere we have. So it's like focusing. If I'm taking one school, these children will be having residential camps, everything, either in the schools or nearby landscape, like maybe a forest range or what they say waterfall. Like we have options like if you're having camps. Still, I'm in the processing. I cannot completely give them this is. I'm giving the plan. So it's based on this locality, they will have this. It's a package actually. Camp will be there, workshop will be there, activities will be there. Everything in a package. For 2 months, they will have not a continuous. They will have break also. And after this, in the next 2 months, they will have this communication. Like once they know about this environmental issues, what's happening, all this tailored to what is particular. If I'm talking to a children from the coastal area, I should give more focus on what's happening from the ocean, like how this polluting everything. Like they can really connect to that. So it should be tailored with each, I'd say, geography of that children they're coming from and all. And then the communication thing, like how to communicate the community, it's really important. People should listen to their voice. They just should not ignore and go. So different mode of communication. If, for example, even the campaign, in my one report, I was writing like, if one girl, a 13-year-old girl, she's coming to knock your door and you're opening and she's saying she's feeling not secure, her house is almost going to lose by the seas, will be under the sea, and she's sharing her concerns. It should be in the way she already should know what happened. If she exactly know the problem, she will have that in her words. Then only the opposite person will understand the impact or the seriousness of the issue. Otherwise, they will think like, oh, it's fun. Children is coming. They will just ignore it. I don't want that. So we have to work on the communication aspects of children, how this art, filmmaking, everything. Then they are going to the community, in their own community. These tasks, they will create a task force in their community, the Cuckoos task force. So they will involve the elders initially it will be more on campaigns. Then they have activities like for each locality, they will have to find what is the exact problem. Maybe either some forest patch will be drawing, some wood tree will be cutting, or wasteland will be there. Or even when you take the houses, we have options like waste management, compost, every options we have. but we just not need, we just not ready to do. So that is the problem, and we had to fix that problem. So that's where my Cuckoos task force will be working. And it's like one, and finally when they complete the activities, it will be a continuing process. So in the it's 1 year scholarship, and it complete with a movie or documentary created by the children itself. Like whatever the activity they made, everything they put together, and we will create a small documentary as a we want to show what they did, what the change they did. That's the plan.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. So I can imagine you have plenty of things to worry about, particularly since the project hasn't started working officially yet. So what is the biggest challenge that you foresee in or with Alamo?
Of course, I would say one is a COVID. Of course, COVID is giving with the different variants. So it's really a challenge. Like when it comes to children, I have to be very careful about their health. I cannot take risk about their health, and I don't think it's completely possible through online. Already our children are frustrated with the online classes. So, and I don't think learning about nature completes if it is only online. And that's one challenge. And of course, the parent side, school will be fine more, but when it comes to parent side, they are just overprotective here. So I have to break that step by step. So to get them, it's a bit hard, and I think I can do that. I hope I have confidence. Then, of course, the starting stage, the financial part should be there. I cannot just do things. So we have certain basic needs for children. Yeah. Then that's the main. Then if anything else, like now we are not expecting, but we are expecting the unexpected. Like what happened in 2018. We don't know what exactly when it rains continuously. I'm like, whether it's going to be flood again. Really, I think even in the campus, the water level will be increasing. Like if it rains for 2 or 3 days, the water level increases. I'm like, what's wrong with this? And so these are things.
I think you should also think about like talking to the kids about how to react in such a situation. That I think this is going to be also a really important topic.
Yeah, like I was thinking about how to prepare them also, like in kind of thing, like collaborating with organizations who can provide that kind of facilities.
Definitely,
I cannot do everything, but I can collaborate with I can collaborate with organizations who can provide such kind of like. And one challenge is like I'm still in the learning process. One part I have to build my knowledge about environment all time. And also to interact with the children. We cannot just go and interact. We had to learn first how to be the kid again. So I'm still in that process.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a lot. So you mentioned before that the parents in Kerala are kind of conservative and really overprotective sometimes with the kids. And in our preliminary talk, you mentioned that you were someone who was always protected from their family. One can say hiding behind books. And at some point with this situation, 2018, for example, you went out of your comfort zone and now you are becoming, you are a social change maker. How was the reaction of your parents to this change?
Like, I would say when I started with the fireflies, they were like, they didn't get actually what I'm doing. Like, just after the post-graduation, I would say, it started with an internship. I want to go for an internship. They said, no, traveling alone. No, it's possible. I said, I have to go. That's part of I have to build my experience. And then they allowed me actually. Then they started they believed me, or they have a trust in me actually. So I can do, like, I'm able to manage able to manage the travel alone. When it comes to fireplace, initially they have no idea what's happened, what I'm doing. They will be knowing because if you have some Facebook posts or Instagram posts and some people talking about that, they say, oh, you did that. I said, yeah, I did that. We were a part of that. Then one day they really sit with them and said, this is what we are doing with Fireplace. This is what I want to do. And they said, okay, one concern is always like, what about your expenses? Will you have the salary? All these concerns there. So I will have, not in the starting. We are not working under someone. We are working for all others, and you cannot take the salary just like that. Just like other jobs. And they were a bit not that happy with that. Like when I say, like in between I worked in the Goonj, and they were like, okay, it's also social service, we don't have salary. There I was having salary, and like, okay, you will have to get salary also. Okay, interesting. Then comes the Kandari. They were thinking, okay, Kandari, I'm going to have a job, I'm going to earn. It took actually a bit time for me to let them understand this is not a job. This is what Kandari doing. It's like leadership training. I have to improve my skills. I will have more access to network building. I can interact with more people. Will have a lot of experience. And initially they were like, okay, whatever, just go. That was the thing. And I think now they're really happy. Like when I wrote about my issues, everything on the like our reports came and everything about the dream speech, Kandari talk, posters, everyone sharing, and they are like okay. And like when we had our exhibition, we had our I have a live on that. So I sent the video to my parents, and they were like, "Oh, now you started speaking so fluently. You became so smart." So like I could see their happiness, and like they really want to come for the Kandari talk, and I'm really expecting for that to present my Kandari talk in front of them.
I think we're all expecting and looking forward to it.
Really.
Definitely. What makes you choose to go from working with the youth empowerment field to go for environmental education? Was it the floods, or were these just the tipping point?
In the beginning, even when starting a Fireplace itself, I was always into some interest towards the environment. I don't know where exactly. If you ask, I don't know where it started, but I had this some sort of connection there. Like normally in the schools, not to schools, in the college itself. I'm from environment science, and I will be sitting with the social work students. Then I was always misunderstood like a social work student. And I was like, no, why can't you connect this together? That was my first intention. When even the project Recycle started, I was always interested. Okay, it's an environmental friendly way. I always see what is more into environment or like that. And after coming Kandari, actually, I found like there is something that I really can do with environment, or something that I really connect me with the environment. And I think here only I got the question. When you started, like first you think about environment, when you started to put your chocolate wrappers in the basket. And for me, I couldn't figure out where it started. No one told me like that. But I remember my parents never did on putting waste on the road. That I remember. And apart from that, I have read in a book one child putting the chocolate wrappers in the basket. That was there in my memory, which I read in, I think, in the second standard or somewhere. I think maybe that all connected me. I have some connection. I don't know exactly. I don't know how to explain it. So here in Kandari, I got exact platform, I'd say, and I'm really thankful for that to give me more focus on what I can really do. And then I felt like this is need of the hour. And I have a master's in environment anyway. Like my friends say, you're an environmentalist. Yes, I'm an environmentalist. So I had to do something.
Yeah, definitely. So Akhina, we all agree that the planet is unhealthy right now. Do you think this project Alamo can bring the planet back to a healthy state?
I will not say like we will change everything, but I believe in the butterfly effect, like Greta Thunberg. Like she started as a one, and it created a huge movement. And when I talked about with the different people from these sectors, I got one message actually. when we say about environment, we don't have competition. Like at the end, we all have only one aim, one goal. And it's all about working together. So I believe at least I could start as a butterfly effect maybe. Like start from here in Kerala. It's a very small portion in the whole world. Then we can improve, like expand it. Maybe we can people like at least a few people who are influenced or motivated by this, and they start something that really change. At least few people change, and I feel like that's also great. If a few people are even are ready to make be change or change in their lifestyle, it's good, and it's always better to do something other than doing nothing. And I believe in that.
You are a true believer, and that's that's really nice. Where this trust comes from?
Like I think I would say I learned it from my experiences. Like I was not that much, and I was a person who was not that much having self confidence. But when I put something really, I really want to do it, and I tried and put effort, I saw the result. And it's just about trust yourself and do what you can do. Don't think about what will happen next. Just put all effort, trust yourself, and do. Then the result will come. That's where this comes. And I think I learned from my experiences. Whatever I did before, I was not expecting it. Just live in the moment. Just do what you can do now. Then I'm done.
One last question. During your studies, you realized that textbook knowledge and real life experiences are completely disconnected. Now you're dreaming to bring a change in the education system through integrating experiential learning on environmental management within existing curricula. You have been cooking this project the past 7 months, kind of, and it's about to go out of the oven. Are you scared? Worried?
I would say I'm not that much scared, but I am scared. Of course, it's not that easy. It's a cooking. If you say in your term, it's a cooking. It can be wrong or like maybe. So I'm not. I'll say I'm not that scared, but I'm scared. I don't know whether it's making sense. It's like here in Kandari. I would like to say about Kandari also at this moment. Like we are going through a very intensive journey. So we are having all the experience on board, and we are learning from that. Like if you make any mistake, there are people to know it was a mistake. You have to correct like that. There are people like Pauls and all the mentors and all the participants. It's a very huge platform for me, and now I'm completely packed up to go and start my own. So it's not that easy, but I know I had to. Like just when I look back, I can see lot of Kandaris who made this happen, and that's a true inspiration. Like I can see, so when I listen to so many Kandari talks that happened in the past, and when we look now, like they proved what they promised, they did it. Like even 2018 Kandari, she was my mentor, and within 2 years, it was the time of COVID also. She was also working with the children, and we had a session where we were interacting with her, and she was showing her project, like her campus, her children, everything, and we were like, okay, it's possible. It's not just dream. It's a possible dream. It's a workable dream. And we were like, okay, now it's like it's only about us. We have to believe in ourselves, and we have to continuously work for it. We should have this dream until it happens. Then it's fine. Yeah, and I think I'm in a right place now. So I got the strength from them, really support everything. And I think Kandaris should not be that much scary about things. We are like, we are change makers. No? We are fiery change makers. We should ready to face any challenges. Face the challenge, move on. That should be the strategy.
Yeah. Well, I can only wish you all the best, and I'm already looking forward to see your presentation at the Kantari Talks. thanks a lot for your time, and thank you for being here. And really, I wish you all the best. And we are going to be talking maybe in a couple of years, and let's see how the project is.
I hope we can talk about the Cuckoos at that time, and maybe fortunate to talk with my Cuckoos either. We can see
that
anyway.
would be great. That would be awesome. So thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
The new Cantaris are about to finish this year's training. These change makers from 8 countries are going to present their captivating life stories of resilience and hope. Join the live stream and listen to inspiring solutions for global and local problems. Next week, Friday the 17th and Saturday the 18th of December. Look for the streaming link and more infos of the program on our show notes. And there we are at the end of the podcast to restore your faith in humanity. You'll find the stories of people sticking their neck out, Cantari alumni and also Cantari participants every Tuesday on Spotify, iTunes, our homepage, and every other place where you get your podcast. And if you subscribe, you don't have to look out for us. We'll be coming to you. Dear listeners, if there is a friend, a family member, an organization, or someone you know who is doing a great work in the community, someone sticking their necks out, just nominate them as a giraffe hero or tell us about them. Leave a comment, come and visit us at giraffe-heroes.eu. My name is Jean-Pierre Aguiar Durañona, and I hope you join us also on our social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. But more importantly, I hope you join us again next week.
Stick Your Neck Out, the weekly podcast of the Giraffe Heroes Foundation.